socialist scumbag.
Yeah. So that'll be number two. Number one is, okay, so I think the main problem with democracy is long-term goals aren't pursued because we have five-year parliaments, and then all the big problems like climate change are like 40-year problems. So I would, if I were king today, spend £50 billion investing in Britain's like cryogenic freezing industry. And then what would happen is I would get 325 of those to be built. And then at the end of each parliament, all the MPs have to flip a coin, and if it goes tails, you and your family have to go into the cryopods. So you would then have to be woken up 30 years later to sort of live the kind of long-term ramifications of your economic policy. But you don't know at the beginning of the parliament which way, so you kind of have to balance a bit short-term, a bit long-term.
Gráinne, dare I ask, were you the monarch for the day? What would you do?
If I was king for the day, I would immediately organise a second school
At least I get to give half my shit to
Come
someone
back.
who fucking hates me for the rest of my life.
and then I would arrive.
I didn't expect you to say that. I've got to be honest. I thought it would be something to do with Ireland or something, but no, don't you crack on.
No. And I would arrive at the reunion. This is what I wouldn't make a big deal of it. I would just be there in full regalia. Like ermine cloak, crown and scepter, and then people would be like, "What have you been up to?" And I'd be like, "Oh, you know, just keep busy."
Felicity, scared to ask you this, but what would you do if you were king for the day?
Free Toblerones? I feel like everyone else thought about it a bit more than me. just give people some chocky, just that,
Chocky.
and a bit of chocky, but also, I think I would make it law that Christmas lights have to stay up until February in northern hemispherical countries. And that instead of...
Okay, the networks are down, the equipment is ready, and we've crippled their supplies. Mrs. Rackman has written our check and given us the...
Anyway, can't go outside. That, my husband also came up with a very smart idea, you know, behind every great woman. Instead of street lamps, put fag lamps in. So in the winter, if you have seasonal affective disorder, when you walk down the street, you feel slightly less depressed every 5 or 6 metres.
That is the most Aussie monarch thing I've ever heard. Sun lamps.
Cheer up! In the
Fucking
street!
lights and sun lamps. Right. Okay, well, so let's explain to the listeners who may be new to the show how it works. At the moment we have Henry VIII. Normally when we start this show there's prejudice one way or the other, whether you already think he's a bastard or whether you think he's a genius. I think it's a lot more difficult with a figure like this. But whichever way you currently sit, we make you open these envelopes that have the facts in them that hopefully surprise you or steer the debate one direction or another and force discussion around certain areas. So who has envelope number 1?
A bit choppy. Not only did Henry behead 2 of his wives, there were around 57,000 executions during his reign. Directly, he was responsible for 2 wives, 1 cardinal, over